welcome to the Solution Finders. Today I am here with Joy, who is an illustrator, artist, author. She's developing a game, a video game. She's an animator as well. And we used to work together in Angoulême in France. We used to animate characters for all the episodes for a small series called We Fall in Fuzz. And so we met many years ago.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm so happy to have you here today.
Hello. Thank you, Una. I'm so happy. Thank you. It's very cool to chat with you.
So yeah, when we met, we were animating. So we were animating something that was designed by someone else, was directed by someone else, and so we were kind of the end of the chain. And there was a little bit of space for our own ideas, but just kind of on how to move the characters and not on the story and not on how they look and things like that. So did you find that that you really wanted to do your own stories at a certain point?
Yeah, at this time, not really, because I was just I had just finished my studies. So this was my first job when we worked together. This was my first job. So I was discovered what is this to make to work as an animator into a series for children and in a studio and all the things like that. It was very my first time. And it was strange because it was my dream. It's always a dream for me because I'm really passionate about animation. And but it was weird too because we have to make some quotas. This was quotas, yes.
So
Some
is there a certain amount of like a minute a day? Well, that's too much, but like 2 seconds a day, 5 seconds.
yeah, we have to make some seconds each day, and we have a lot of direction. We don't have really a part for the creation. We have to imagine the movement for the characters, etc. But you have to follow a path, follow an animatic. The animatic is the storyboard in action, kind of. And yeah, it was new for me. It was very, very interesting, by the way, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot. But at this time, I did not know what I want to do exactly. I just want to experiment and to have some experiences in animation and to discover this world. And after that, I work on others projects and studios, even with. I worked just after that. I worked in Ubisoft in video games for a AAA, so a very big project. I was in animation team, and this is a small team, so we can have a part in the creation of each animation. We can have reflection. We can speak with the leads. Every week we spoke together to just talk about what we have to create for the games. It was a new experience, a new kind of work too, because it was in 3D, and my first job with you was in 2D. And it was interesting too, because I learned a lot. But this was not my project. This was not my direction exactly. I have to always follow some people,
Instructions.
which are the game director, the creative director, my lead, animation. And so, but I was junior, so it was okay. So I was just here for learn. So it was a great experience. Yeah.
Cool. And when did you start to do your own things? I've seen that you wrote a book about pregnancy and giving birth. And
Yeah.
was that your first book, or did you do
Yeah,
something?
this was my first book. I don't know why, but because I write some things, but for me, I try to draw some things, but for me too. And I worked on other projects in 2D for the animation studio in Angoulême. And I start to have my head like my ideas was burning inside my head, and I have to write, and I have to draw. It was like I have to create. I have to. I don't know. I think I just have a lot of things to tell or to explain. I don't know how to say that, but I discovered that you know, we are different people. Maybe I can say that. There's some people who just want to follow a direction. There's a lot of the other people, maybe like me. Uh, we need to experiment, or to create, or to say something, or to try to say something into something. Maybe it can be a text, it can be a drawing, can be whatever. And I start to discover that I'm this kind of people. So I started to write and to draw. And uh, when I had my first child, I don't know, there's something switch in my head, and it said that I I thought that I have to do something. I have to just try and to create. So I started to write, and yes, my first book, which is not published at the first book, but this was the first book that I wrote and drew. This was on pregnancy, but it takes a little time before the publishing, because I want to 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 looking for a publisher, and it was not the good one, and a lot of things like that. But it was my first experience as a writer, and it's like a documentary, and yes, it was very great, because I think I have no, I think I had a lot of things that I want to share, like you know, when you want to share something with your friend. So I just put all my ideas on all my all I learned on the pregnancy, or the stuff like that, the birth, and this moment, which is very uh, um, which how can I say that, this moment is particular in our life, in when you have a baby. So I want to put all of this in one book, like, and can share it with someone, like a friend. This was my idea.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. So now it's published, yeah?
Yeah. It was on 2016. So
2016. And is it about natural birth?
yeah, yes, because I want to share that it is a natural,
Natural thing.
this is a
Yeah, it
natural
should
thing.
be.
Yes. So I just want to explain what is the biological path of uh, the birth, and after that, when you know how it works, you can choose how you want to give birth. You know,
Yeah,
when then you can explain also what you want to do, what you have in mind, what is necessary for you, etc.
yeah, yeah. And actually, I think that's very good to have a book that gives you information because personally, I didn't have information like for my family. I just went to the hospital. There were the midwives doing some small courses.
Yeah.
Actually, I was pretty unconscious of, especially when my first child was born, because I was just kind of waiting for the contraption to come,
Mhm.
and I was playing video games. I
Yeah.
spent hours just trying to pass the time, the time.
Mm.
Okay, when is it coming? And then just kind of distract myself with something else. And now I'm like, maybe that was not the best way, to prepare for birth.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I was like in my habits of, but I was still playing a lot of video games and not playing anymore.
Yeah, it's, for my first child, it was I was the same. I just didn't know nothing. So, but after my first child, I started to think that it's not normal to know nothing. So when I was pregnant for my second child, I work a lot with midwives too. And I was lucky because I had some midwives who were very, very cool and very, very nice. So they helped me to understand how it's happened, what is the biological path of natural birth, to understand what we can do, how we can make ourselves comfortable, what we can choose, with, what is the opportunities that we have, etc. So it was very interesting.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good to get to know these things because there's so much. It was like birth was like something that you go to the hospital and the doctor gives birth for you in a
Yeah,
sense, and it shouldn't be, and in the past it wasn't. Um, I read a book about someone. There's a scene where someone is giving birth in the Middle Ages,
yeah,
and she has to stay. She has help for 40 days after birth from
okay.
other women in the family, and I was like, wow, that would be great now,
Yeah, I can imagine. My parents, my mother, she is from Mauritius, and there, in the past, maybe, I don't know for now, but in the past, there are some people who help the mother and the child 40 days after the birth. And it's kind of the same that you just said.
Yeah, that's good. And we lost all that. We lost all that community, especially in the cities. We
Yeah.
don't have it. Like we don't even know our neighbors, and it's really we are really isolated in the end. And
Yeah.
especially when we have birth, like I think I felt very lonely after giving birth because there was no family near me. Um, yeah, in a sense, there was just my partner helped me,
Yeah.
and a little bit of help from the midwives. Some, a weekly visit, something like that.
Yeah.
Um, and I was clueless about breastfeeding, and
Yeah. I can imagine.
yeah. So yeah, it was, and as well, like how the body should go back to normal afterwards. No clue. Like I found more information recently that really like you have to help the body because you have all the organs, they are out of place and they should go
Yeah.
to the right place.
Yeah.
And no information whatsoever about that.
Yeah, it's very weird because this is something natural and like there's I don't know how many women that give birth every day and we don't have a lot of information. So it's very weird when we think about that.
Yeah, yeah, but thanks to your book, we have more information.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, and then you wrote another book called Être une fille c'est quoi? So what is it to be a girl? And
Yeah.
and that I think is the kind of information we need as well because it's really like now I'm a little bit surprised because I start to see adverts that explain about period a little bit more. And you're like, wow, I've never seen something like that before. But it should be normalized and should be known. And it's like half of the world has a period. Like there's women, and why don't we talk about it? And
I,
these things.
yeah, I don't know, but there's a lot of things on internet, but a lot of things that is wrong. And when I wrote the book about the pregnancy and birth, I started to work on this book because I was finding, I found a lot of information, and it was incredible to find this information that we need to know because this is for our health, this is for our lives, and there's something, for example, on our cycles, yeah, the menstrual cycle, and we don't exactly we don't know exactly what it's happened into these four parts of this menstruation cycle, and it's not normal. We need to know these kind of things. We need to learn that. I know that we learn that when we are in school, but this is like to learn math or French. Oh, not French, but
Yeah,
history or music or whatever. And when we are a child, we don't exactly know that this is important for us to know and to understand what happened into this menstruation cycle.
yeah,
That's why I wanted to explain a little bit into this book and to talk about what happened in our head when we are growing um, and what the hormones, what is the how the hormones work in our body and in our head, and in the society, what is our role and our place into the society, and how the society works, because we when we grow we just learn, unfortunately, that we are not equal, like the men, for example, in the work, in the life, everywhere. So I wanted to explain how and why the societies work like that.
Yeah, and yeah, it is really, in a sense, like, because we have this cycle, it's like our energy goes up and down during the month, and in a sense, like, this is something I learned in the last few years, that we need rest sometimes, and then we are more productive if we rest, and we can't really, like, the structure of maybe an office job can work better for a man who doesn't have all this up and down of energy, that for a woman. And
Yeah.
and so, yeah, all the work environment, it's made for men practically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but I see something is changing a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, for example, in some places they're giving, like, for example, you can stay home when you have your period in some
Yeah.
and I see some entrepreneur that do that, like female entrepreneur, they do that. They reduce the load of work when there is less energy during the cycle.
Yes.
Actually, that works well because, well, I think probably men as well, they are not full energy all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we all kind of need some rest. And personally, I have more ideas when I'm well rested, or when I am like, I have good ideas for something I want to create. When I am walking in nature or something, I really, when it's downtime.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I am in the office in front of the computer.
I think it's always a good idea to just uh, to learn how we are, and to just be aware of our needs. And I also work like this today. Today, and it's a few years now. But when I started my own company, my studio, it was something that we put in the rules, that we have to be careful of our needs, and it's the priority, because we can't work if we if we are not well. I think it's not good for anyone.
Yeah, that's great. And I remember from, like, seeing my mom, for example, who was in a job. She was cleaning offices. She would go
Okay.
to work even with a fever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that was normal and shouldn't be normal. You should stay home and rest if you have a
Yes.
fever.
Yeah, I agree. Totally agree with you.
Okay. And yeah, I see you worked in the video games industry as well, and I've worked in the video games industry, and
Yeah.
actually, something that happened for me when and I was doing video editing. I was preparing videos for the YouTube channel, and a lot of the videos that were like the trailers of the games we were publishing, and there was violence, there was war, and in a sense, that's the mainstream of of the game industry, and it's like for teenage boys practically. And but it's very, very kind of mindless in a sense. There's not there's not much of a story. and and so like I was editing this content, and I was pregnant with my first child, and then I stayed in the company until my second child was about 9 months. But I couldn't work on those kind of games anymore because I didn't want my children to play them, because like at the beginning I wasn't aware, and I was even testing the games, so it was really kind of affecting me on a subconscious level
Yeah.
as well. But it does go in the subconscious, and and then maybe if we are used to play violent games, then it's like seeing violence in the news is not a big deal. We see it all the time. It's not something we cannot normalize it, and but at the same time, it's a trauma as well, and it keeps us in a state of fear, and and so like all of that, I wanted to. Personally, I couldn't do it anymore, and I went out of that job and I started to do my art. Um, how was it for you to work in the video game industry? And you are developing your own game now.
Yeah, what you said is very interesting because I think I experienced like a little bit the same things because my first job in Ubisoft was on a war game, and I have to animate some soldier and soldier like when they have when they die or when they hurt they have
Hurt.
yes when they've been hurt, something like that. And I quit this job when I was pregnant, and I was like 6 months, and I said no, I can't continue. I cannot continue. I just want to do something which is positive, which is not how we can kill someone, because this is this kind of game. And and after that, I just work for the animation series, which is very, very for children and very positive. So I perfectly understand what you said. And yeah, after that, I wanted to choose where I want to work, for what kind of project I want to work. I think it's important as we are artists, and if we can do that, if you can choose, I think it's very important. And for me, I always said to myself that what I want to do, what I want to share, what I want to tell, and this is the first thing I try to think when I start a job. It's like how this job will interact with me, how this job will help me in a way, every way. And I try to learn on every experiences. So a few years ago, I started to write a project. But before this project, I read a book Maybe you know this book. This is Woman Who Runs with Wolves, from Clarissa Pinkola Estes. This is an American writer, I think, and she wrote about different tales or legends in a feminist way, and she tried to analyze the everything into these tales. The different tales, a lot of tales, and this was one of these tales which was which interested me. It was Bluebeard from Charles Perrault. And when this is a French tale, a famous French tale, but maybe in France, I don't know, for everywhere in the world. But as I am French, I knew this tale, but not in this way. And when I wrote how she analyzed this tale, I was like, wow. It's like I discovered a new version. So I started to write something. It was very inspiring. And so I just write something, and but I could not. No, I could not continue because at this time, maybe I thought that maybe it can be, I don't know, a novel, comic book, or I don't know. I didn't know at this time. And so after that, I just went to work in the studio because I have to work. And after that, it was always in my mind, and I wanted to continue this project. But yes, I started to think of how I can continue. I discovered that maybe it can be in from like a video game, because there's something I didn't want to experiment with the when you write something, maybe in a novel or in a text, you have one way. It's a story which is linear, and I didn't want that. So I started to think this story, which different endings, different paths, different branches, and it was like it was very very a new way for me to experiment this story. And yes, it was very inspiring to write this tale like this. So I started to to imagine the whole project. I started to find a team too, a little team. And after that, in France we have some subsidies, which is very cool, with called French cinema, le CNC, the CNC. They have something for when you start a project for the authors only. And so I sent this project, and after that, so I received this subsidy, this aid, and started the project with my small team. And we had the big opportunity to go to New York for a residency with Villa Albertine. So it was a very very good opportunities to start to work on this project. So right after that, I I create the studio Purple Meadows, and yes, we are working on this first game. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, I didn't read that book, but I'm going to have a look. I'm going to read it.
This is a dark tale. I have to. Yes, this is a dark tale, and if you read this tale, you will tell me what you think.
Yeah, that's but anyway, all the like Disney, they took all the stories and they changed it. They did it all. Then actually, it looks very nice, but there was some, and I did like the evolution in the last few movies because, for example, there's Frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frozen. That's the little sister who falls in love and like after one day she's like, I'm going to marry this guy, and and straight away she's told, you want to marry somebody you met today or yesterday, and that's the point. And actually, that happens in all the Cinderella, in all the in the Snow White, like in all the old ones. It was
Mhm.
perfectly fine, but now we have started to say, hey, one day is not much time.
Yeah. Yeah. The tales. You know, I study a lot of tales because it's very, very interesting. You know, there's a lot of tales around the world, and they always say something about how other people live together, what they think, what they they said a lot of things about the period, the time, and it's very, very interesting. And they are not positive, uh, not always, and maybe they can be dark, like the one we are working on, but they always say something very, very interesting when you dig uh, deeper inside, and you can take a lot of how to say feel. How, you can take a lot of things and you can explain, or you can think about it separately. For example, I think about Hans Andersen. Yes, this tale is very, very dark. My God! And when he wrote this tale, he wrote about himself, and I think it's very crazy and so interesting because I really love the gothic tales and melancholy tales, and so it's one of my favorites. And but it's also very, very sad. Yes.
Yeah, and like I remember, what I remember is that like the Little Mermaid, when she transforms into like when she transforms into a human, she has legs, but she cannot talk, and she's in pain all the time. And actually, that's not in the books at all. In the movies, the pain, like
Yeah.
feeling pain every step, and that was really striking for me. And then in the end, there's no good end. There's like
Mm.
they don't end up together with the prince at
No.
all.
No, no, no.
So
Yes.
yeah, but yeah, that was stayed with me. The pain every time you walk, you will be in pain. You want the
Mm.
legs, you get the pain as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. We I think the tales teach that when you want something that you can't have, it's always come with a price. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm.
And did you watch the movies of the Little Mermaid, the Disney movies? That's like the animation, and they did one with real actors recently.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What do you think about?
Um, I think I thought that it was a great film, but this is kind of the same as the animation movie. Uh, I was very, very glad to see the actress, which is black, and it was very, very cool to see that. Um, I liked this movie. Yes, but this is not the original tale. But it's okay. It's okay to have an happy end too.
Yeah, it was like they did it more modern, and
Yeah.
yeah, and actually my family is from Sardinia, and I discovered that they filmed in Sardinia, all the
Okay.
scenes outside, like the beach and stuff like
Mm,
that.
great. And you? Did you like this movie?
Yeah, and actually, I loved the original the animation one from the 80s, and I had the cassette with
Oh yeah.
with the music, so I knew the songs in Italian. So it was really something that if I hear the music, I know
Yeah.
I know the words, and so like it was a little bit like going back to being a child and
Yeah.
little.
It's interesting because you really liked this movie, the animation movie. But me, I didn't like the original movie, the Disney's movie. I don't know why, because I didn't. I don't know. There's something that I can't
I think it depends
accept.
on when you watch it as well, because I watched it when I was a child. I think like I had a mind that is different from what my mind
Mm.
is now. And actually, one movie I tried to watch recently with my children was the Humpback of Notre Dame,
Ah yeah,
Hunchback.
yeah, yeah, right. Yes.
um, the Disney one, and after a few minutes, my children were traumatized, and
Ah
we
yeah.
we had to stop. Like they
Okay.
were like, we don't want to watch it, and it was really like straight away about manipulation, and
Mm.
this hunchback guy was raised by
Yes, the
priest,
priest.
a high priest, like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
cardinal or something, and he was told lies on lies on lies, and manipulated. You could
Yeah.
see the manipulation, and like my children just seen it straight away. I'm like, we don't want to watch it. And so actually, for me, it was just one of the movies that was missing from my list. I didn't watch it when it came out, so I wanted to watch it now. I couldn't. But
Yeah.
it was kind of painful to watch because there was all this manipulation and all
Mm.
these characters who were really kind of mean and manipulative. So it was
Yeah.
cringy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I think it's interesting because, in a way, I don't know. There's a lot of kind of movies for children. Maybe it's not a good one. I don't know. But for example, with my child, um, I am thinking. what kind of movie, or a little bit like that. But as I know, is that when we watch a movie, we always speak about that after, because maybe it can, with the old movies, there's a lot of things which is not acceptable now. A lot of sexism. The female characters are not treated like in a good way. And even in Indiana Jones or Star Wars, even in those films. So I always speak with them, and I told them that it's not okay to just talk like that with a woman, to treat somebody like that or something. Yes, I think maybe we can speak with them and explain that it's kind of something that exists in the society. There's some people which is like this. This is the story of a version of or a vision of a writer or a director who want to tell the story. Maybe it can be interesting to speak after that. But when they are ready to see the movie. But yes, it can be a way to speak of different things which is not normal, or yes, in the relation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like help our kids. It's challenging now because, like, for me, for example, like they are watching YouTube a lot, and yeah, and I guess some of the things it's like I am working a lot on my subconscious, like to clear things that got programmed into me, and then I don't want to repeat, and I don't want. And I know that this is the age, well, especially the first 7 years, but like the more they learn something, and especially if they watch something on TV or YouTube or something, that can go into the subconscious. Uh, but yeah, on one side, I want them to have their own experience and to figure it out themselves, and on the other side, I want to teach them what I learned in a sense. And um, because me personally, I got programmed by TV quite a lot. I was watching like the violent series. I had a
Yeah.
fear of going to the United States because everything I was watching was there was violence and there was guns, and I thought, and my subconscious thought that United States, it's that,
Yeah.
it's violence and guns,
Yeah.
like a TV series, you know.
Yeah.
But then it's not, and no country is like that. That's all the nuances.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a challenge, yes, like you said. Um, every day we speak together, and we just share our thoughts about a lot of things. Yes, today you see something in YouTube or whatever. What do you think about that? What do you think it's normal, or do you think I don't know? And we can share and just maybe explain, because what they see, but they think that what they see is normal, but maybe not. And they don't know, they don't know how to what is normal or not. I think we have to explain, and to explain that um, every image that we see in a screen is something fake, a kind of something fake, because we can use AI. You can you can say something but which is wrong, etc. So I try to teach them that they have to be careful of what they see everywhere, and to think by themselves if this thing is great or not. Yes, but this is every day we have to speak and to explain, etc.
Yeah, yeah, lots of work. Yeah, and then AI as well. Yeah, that's that's lots.
Yeah,
I know we can do it. We can do it.
yeah, we have to do it.
Ah, and I seen that you do write poems as well. I see
Yeah,
poems with images, and when that I seen yeah, one thing that I liked, you said that the word love was kind of female first, and then it became male in French. Was it like le mot amour était un nom féminin
yeah,
avant d'avoir été masculinisé.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Was it something?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. You know, in the 19th, no, no, 19th, 17th, the academy, the French academy, they, I don't know why, they just change a lot of things. The how the words and the language will be in the society. They masculinize a lot of things, which today it's we always use this kind of this inheritage because, for example, we don't have the they. We just use the
Feminine or masculine.
yes, feminine or masculine, yes, and we don't have the they or
Like
it.
neutral.
Yes,
It.
and everything is always in a masculine way. They called it like in a neutral way, but it's not because when we say that the everything is in a masculine way, when we are a girl, a little girl, when we are a woman, it's difficult to think that we are a part of this masculine way, but we have to make this effort. And the word love in French, amour, I don't know why they take it in a masculine way.
So they changed it in the 17th century from
Yeah,
feminine to
I
masculine.
think. Mhm. And in I study poetry because it's, I don't know how to say how it's incredible. The poetry world is incredible. It's infinite. For me, it's like a liberty because I can play with words. I can play with the sense. I can play with what I want. It's very interesting, very creative. I feel free when I work, uh, when I write poetry. I I try to write like not every day, but almost. Um, I think I discovered the poetry when I was a teenager. It was not a really good time for me at this time, but the poetry kind of saved me in a way, because it kept my mind with this imagination that I have, and it's helped me to just to grow and to think and to be someone. And I share my work just now in since a few years, but before that I wasn't ready because I don't know, this is something for me at the first time, and I discovered that there's a lot of people which are resonate with or connect with my words. So it's very weird in a sense, because this is something I wrote for me, like very, very
Personal.
yeah, personal. And I don't think to when I wrote poetry, I don't think about people. I just think for me and what I want to share, what I want to explain. And so it's very interesting when people write, when they send me a message and they say that what you write, I kind of connect with this word. I understand what you want to say, and I feel this in this way, or something like that. Very weird.
Weird. Maybe it goes to the authenticity, to the real
Yeah,
part of ourselves.
yeah,
Like you just express yourself, and someone else feels safe
yeah,
when they see that.
yeah. And I experiment the poetry into the video game I am developing, because the text is written in poetry verses, in a free verses. It's very interesting to write in this kind of way. Yeah,
Nice exercise. Gives you some rules, maybe.
I feel that maybe it's kind of like doing math or something like that, because we have to choose the right words, the right the right. No, you have to looking for the right sense. Uh, you have to be careful of the sound of the words, and the everything. You have to be careful of everything, but with a few words. So it's very, very interesting.
Interesting. About the what we were talking about earlier, it's the same in Italian. The neutral, it's the masculine. The masculine is the neutral. So
Okay.
like, yeah, mankind, mankind is like men.
Yeah.
Women are inside that, but they are not.
Yeah. Exactly.
And one thing I really like is that, and I know in French as well, I like a caterpillar and a butterfly. I think in English that's just neutral, just it. But in Italian, caterpillar is bruco and is male, but
Okay.
butterfly is farfalla and it's female. So it's like a male that transforms into a female. But in French, it's the opposite, no? It's a chenille is is a female, a chenille, a caterpillar, And a butterfly is a papillon, and
Yeah.
it's
Masculine.
male.
Yeah.
So interesting how in different words, different languages, it changes. But yeah, no, I'm kind of proud of this thing of Italian that goes from male to female in the
Yeah.
translation. And I think it looks like male at the beginning, and then it like female when it transforms. So
Yeah.
it's
It's
like
very.
interesting.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Why is in my parents they are Mauritian from Mauritius, and in this language which is I don't know in English, in French we said Creole,
Okay.
and we use the neutral for every word.
Okay.
So even if I don't speak very well the Creole, I always no, I often made a mistake with between the male and female, because I don't know, in my brain when I listen my parents when they're speaking, they use just the neutral for everything. So it's I think it's interesting because we don't have to choose, but in French we have to make all the things in the masculine, or we have to be careful with what is masculine, what is feminine. Yeah,
It's interesting how different languages have different meaning, and it's kind of in society it's different as well because if
yeah,
everything is neutral, it's kind of different attitude. Uh,
yeah. And the Creole, this language, it's really, really uh, like French, the French language. There's a lot of words which is in French because long ago the French colonized the Mauritius. So we use the French language in the Creole, but in the natural for different words.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah, maybe there will be going back to the neutral for everything, or there
Maybe.
will be some changes, some new dictionaries. And you were talking about academy in France. In Italian as well, the Italian language was decided by intellectual people because there were so many different dialects in every region
Ah,
that
yeah.
they just took a few like guys who were the big writers of the time and stuff like that, and they decided we Italian will be mainly from Tuscany, maybe mainly the language from Tuscany, and a lot of it will be from books. So it was not what people were saying. It was from these intellectual people who
Yeah.
invented Italian. They
Mhm.
wrote it down, and uh, and so actually there's still quite a lot of dialects around and slang, and people don't really understand each other from different regions.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. And it's pretty kind of uh, young country as well. Italy got together in 1860.
Mhm.
So and that's about when they started with the language, the unique language. So uh, so yeah, it's another interesting thing. Like it's kind of artificial language.
Yeah, it's a little bit the same in France around this the same period, I think. They want to make a national language, which is first by the intellectual, the political, and all the things like that. And after that, yes, they start to teach this language, the French language, in the schools, and after that,
Yeah,
everybody speak this language.
yeah, that's it. It's the language they teach in school, and then they stop teaching the
Yeah.
dialect. Like in Sardinia, for example, they say that it's not a dialect, but it's a language, because Sardinia was so isolated from the
Mhm.
rest of the world that it kind of developed but different languages, because like you go to a village, they talk differently than the next village. It's like
Oh yeah!
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, but some of the words are the same. But yeah, and it's very similar to Latin as well.
Mhm.
Still, because very ancient, very
Yeah.
isolated, and yeah, and these are the languages that maybe will be lost if they are not taught in the families or in the schools.
Yeah. It's right. There's a lot of language which die just because we don't speak them.
Oh well, that was fantastic to talk with you.
Yeah.
It
Stuck with you too.
was a very nice, very nice to catch up, and after
Yeah.
years, and to talk about important things.
Yeah. I think. Thank you, Una.
Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation with Joy, and I found it very interesting that with motherhood, we both kind of awakened to unconditional love for our children, and at the same time, we awakened to creativity, to wanting to do our own thing, and really a need to step away from creating violent content, and really the drive to create something meaningful and something uplifting. And for Joy, that was about creating her books. She wrote Grossesse et accouchement naturel Kesako. That is a book about pregnancy and natural birth. You can find the link below. And then she wrote Être une fille c'est quoi? What is it to be a girl? And that book got an award from UNESCO. So there's the link below as well. These books are like documentary books. She wrote them, and she drew, she created all the illustrations. And now she has her studio to develop video games. She's developing with her team Bluebeard song. So yeah, I really enjoyed talking with her, and I hope you enjoy watching this episode. It's giveaway time. I am giving away a PSYCH-K session. The rules to participate to this giveaway are: number one, join the Solution Finders Facebook group. The link is below. If you're already in the group, that's fine. That's good. You already have step one done. Step two, there will be a post in the Facebook group about this giveaway. Comment on that post, so I know that you want to participate to this giveaway, and your entry will be counted for the giveaway when you comment on the post in the group. Number four, on Sunday, the 2nd of February, entry is finished, and I will announce the winner. I will pick the winner randomly between everybody who commented on that post, and I will announce the winner live in the Facebook group. So good luck, and I see you in the Facebook group.